This page is the cover of the August 1995 issue of Saturn Fan Magazine, a supersized special issue packed with the latest Saturn news. The striking cover art features a cybernetically enhanced woman holding a weapon, which ties into the featured complete strategy guide for Dragoon Saga. The absolute main event highlighted on the cover is the further evolved Virtua Fighter 2. This deep dive covers the core Saturn game, the remix update, and even mentions the Sega 32X version. Another major section is the Saturn Big 7, giving breaking development news on key titles from prominent studios like Treasure, Ancient, GameArts, Climax, Hudson, and Atlas. The cover also lists a host of other new Saturn game information, showcasing the breadth of upcoming releases. You'll find mentions of games like Shining Wisdom, Fist of the North Star, Galactic Attack, Magic Knight Rayearth, Darkseid, and Clockwork Knight Volume 2, alongside sports titles and other unique Japanese games. As a bonus, the issue includes an original large poster, prominently featuring Virtua Fighter 2. It's a fantastic look at the exciting lineup building for the Saturn in 1995. This page delivers a powerful look at the Sega Saturn's burgeoning RPG library, showcasing the exciting lineup highlighted on the cover as the Saturn Big 7 and more. Front and center is Dragoon Saga, presented as a shocking new RPG experience, with its fully polygon 3D tactical battles, variable viewpoints, and dynamic CG attack animations. It promises a never-before-seen level of 3D RPG immersion. The page also spotlights Magic Knight Rayearth, an action RPG based on the popular anime, featuring visuals and staff from the show alongside unique Saturn elements. Shining Wisdom, another action RPG, is featured for its smooth combat system and responsive character control. Guardian Heroes is highlighted as an action RPG, with a story that changes based on player actions. Rounding out the previews is Tengai Makyo Gaiden, Fourth Apocalypse, a spin-off set in 1800s America, promising a fresh story for fans of the series. The page emphasizes that these titles, along with others like Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, represent a strong and diverse RPG push for the Sega Saturn. This page showcases two major gaming publications dropping on July 21st. On the left is the monumental Chozetsu Owazabayashi 95 Summer Edition, a truly massive multi-platform strategy and data book. This beast clocks in at an incredible 996 pages, packed with an astounding 6,800 techniques and a catalog covering 4,500 game titles across systems like Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Neo Geo, and more. It promises complete coverage of released Ultra techniques and thorough game evaluations, all for 980 yen. The right side highlights the launch of the first bi-weekly issue of PlayStation Magazine, hitting shelves the same day for 490 yen. Touting itself as the strongest PS information specialty magazine, this inaugural bi-weekly edition features an extensive spotlight on Tokimeki Memorial. It also includes packed coverage of major titles like Darkstalkers, Tekken 2, Ace Combat, Mobile Suit Gundam, Street Fighter, the movie The Game, and International Superstar Soccer, promising the latest scoops, strategy data, new game introductions, and comprehensive reviews from both readers and editors. This page delves into Sega's 32-bit era, with a focus on the Super 32X and upcoming Mega Drive titles. On the left, the spotlight is on Parasquad for the Super 32X, a high-speed 3D polygon shooter launching July 14th for 7,800 yen. It's highlighted for its intense action and unique mechanics, such as a hacking system to control foes. The right side promotes the expansion of the Mega Drive world via the Super 32X upgrade, showcasing upcoming Mega Drive software like the action-adventure Comic Zone, September 1st, 7,800 yen. The realistic baseball simulation Super Miracle 9, July 21st, 6,800 yen. And the distinct action game The Ooze, August 25th, 5,800 yen, noted for its peculiar squishy feel. The Super 32X hardware itself is advertised as a 16,800 yen booster, connecting to the Mega Drive to bring it into the 32-bit realm. This page features a large spread promoting Shadowrun for the Sega CD, boldly proclaiming it the strongest last Mega CD RPG. The artwork showcases several key characters in the game's signature cyberpunk fantasy style, set against a futuristic cityscape. The text briefly touches upon the game's setting in 2053 Tokyo, a world where metahumans like elves and orcs coexist with magic, advanced cyberware, and the digital realm of the Matrix. Players take on the role of a Shadowrunner, navigating this dangerous world dominated by powerful megacorporations. Developed by Compile, this RPG was scheduled for release in July 1995. This page features Konami's lineup for the Sega Saturn in July 1995. On the left, we see a vibrant promotion for the Twin Bee Deluxe Pack. This collection brings the classic arcade vertical shoot-'em-up action to the Saturn, featuring beloved characters like Twin Bee and Pastel. It highlights the excitement of the arcade experience coming home and is scheduled for release that summer. The right side provides a look at other Konami Saturn titles. Power Pros 95 Opening Edition, part of the popular baseball simulation series, is set for release on July 28, promising realistic gameplay with live commentary and updated player data. The classic dating simulation Tokimeki Memorial Forever With You is also highlighted, bringing its heartfelt romance to the Saturn that summer. Finally, the hilarious parody shoot-'em-up Parodius Deluxe Pack, compiling multiple entries in the Chowdick series, is already available and proving popular. The page overall showcases a strong push by Konami onto the Saturn platform with diverse genres. The next page dives into a diverse lineup from Koei and Victor. Koei brings two major titles to the Saturn. First up is Winning Post X, the console's debut horse racing simulation, promising an authentic experience for series fans with updated data and immersive Klydrom features, slated for an August release. Following in September is Nobunaga's Ambition, Tenshuki, the latest entry in the epic historical simulation series, arriving on Saturn with enhanced features like new unit controls and character development systems. On the Victor side, we see two very different fighting experiences launching in September. The King of Boxing enters the ring as Saturn's first polygon boxing game, delivering realistic movement and dynamic camera angles thanks to its Electronic Arts lineage. Contrasting the realistic approach, Metal Fighter Miku adapts the popular anime series into a game, likely a fighting or wrestling title based on the source material and screenshots, bringing its vibrant characters and action to the console. This page presents a dual feature, highlighting a unique Mahjong title and an exciting Saturn demo disc. On the left, we see Mahjong Kaigan Monogatari, Mahjong Kyudai Sexy Idol Hen, a Mahjong game by Micronet that features popular idols of the era. It promises a blend of traditional Mahjong with the appeal of polygon character models, and a special AI designed to challenge players of all skill levels. Set for an early August release, it offers a distinct take on the genre, bringing idols like Mimi, Kazumi, and Yu right into your game room. The right side unveils Saturn Super Volume 1, an industry-first interactive magazine on CD, launching on July 7th. This disc is packed with demos and information for an impressive 36 new Saturn titles, hitting stores between July and September. It serves as a fantastic preview, letting players get a taste of upcoming games before they release. The content is divided into sections, showcasing original interactive movies, demo versions, playable software experiences, and highlights of arcade ports. Featured titles include racing like Race Drive-In, fighting with Virtua Fighter 2 and Virtua Fighter Remix, and RPGs, and simulations like Shining Wisdom and Tokimeki Memorial, making it an essential purchase for any Saturn fan eager to explore the console's summer lineup. This page features a double dose of adult-oriented Sega Saturn titles, both slated for release on July 28, 1995. On the left, we have Idol Mahjong Final Romance 2, a direct port of the popular arcade Mahjong game. This title brings animated female characters to your living room for high-stakes Mahjong matches. The game boasts upgraded graphics and sound compared to its arcade counterpart, leveraging the Saturn's capabilities and Crydrom format to include full voice acting by several popular Japanese voice actresses. Players challenge various anime-style opponents in intense Mahjong showdowns. The right side presents the Yakyu Ken Special, a game centered around the Japanese strip-rock-paper-scissors game, Yakyu Ken, featuring real-life young women. Marketed explicitly for adults, the game pits the player against a roster of 12 different opponents. The advertisement highlights the chance to interact with these women through the game, and even promotes a substantial prize pool contest tied to gameplay. Both games cater to an adult audience, offering distinct takes on popular Japanese gaming themes. This page features a vibrant advertisement for Yumi Mix Remix on the left, an interactive comic game from Game Arts. It's a port of the Mega CD title, offering a branching, multi-ending story presented through over 7,000 illustrative cuts, with layouts by Takeshi Okazaki and a theme song sung by idol Kumiko Takahashi. It even includes a bonus minigame and a lavish package with a full-color setting book. The right side presents the cover and contents for the August 1995 issue of Saturn Fan Magazine. The cover features a distinctive character illustration. Inside, the issue dives deep into Virtua Fighter 2, covering the original, the remix version, and the 32X release. There's also a major strategy guide for the strategic RPG Mysteria, The Realms of Lore. A feature tracks the development status of 7 highly anticipated Saturn titles, including Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, and Guardian Heroes. Inserts include a Virtua Fighter 2 poster and a Virtua Fighter art gallery showcasing new CG from the upcoming Virtua Fighter 3. Other sections cover new game reviews, data rankings, news, fan content, and upcoming releases. This looks like a packed issue for Saturn fans. This page features a special report diving deep into Virtua Fighter 2, highlighted by a large illustration showcasing many of the game's iconic characters like Akira, Pi, and Wolf. The main focus is on the demo version shown at the June Toy Show, which generated significant excitement. The article includes an interview with Keiji Okayasu from AIM2 Research, where he discusses the demo's development challenges and achievements, including the technical feat of rendering 2 characters simultaneously at a smooth 60 frames per second, a point emphasized with a large red banner. Screenshots throughout the page showcase various characters, such as Lion and Pei, performing moves in the demo, with captions pointing out details like background fidelity and demo-specific elements that differ slightly from the final arcade version. The feature also touches upon the Virtua Fighter 2 remix and the 32X version shown at the same event. Ultimately, the page conveys the impressive state of the game's development at the time and the anticipation for its release, promising that the game is still evolving. This page expands on the Virtua Fighter universe, specifically spotlighting Virtua Fighter Remix, which is presented as a visually enhanced version of the original Virtua Fighter for the Saturn. It features sequence shots demonstrating characters like Shun, Lion, and Lao performing elaborate move routines from a demo shown at a toy show, emphasizing the fluidity and detail of their animations. The article also looks ahead to Virtua Fighter 2, focusing heavily on the significant graphical improvements, particularly the sophisticated texture mapping applied to character models. The text highlights how the character designs and textures in Remix are influenced by Virtua Fighter 2, showcasing the leap in realism. Screenshots from Virtua Fighter 2's opening sequence and detailed models of all 9 characters are displayed, underscoring the magazine's view that the series is pushing the boundaries of realism in fighting games. This page provides an in-depth look at the latest developments in the Virtua Fighter series, comparing Virtua Fighter Remix to the original game, introducing the 32X version, and showing more of Virtua Fighter 2. Virtua Fighter Remix is highlighted as a vastly improved version over the initial Saturn release, addressing player frustrations by fixing graphical glitches, such as disappearing characters and flickering stages. Characters are now larger and feature texture mapping, making them look more realistic, and Dural's stage has been expanded to the same size as the arcade original. The 32X version of Virtua Fighter is also featured, presented as a surprisingly capable port that faithfully reproduces the arcade game's smooth 1/30th second animation. This version includes an exclusive 8-player tournament mode and offers players 8 costume color choices. Further screenshots of Virtua Fighter 2 continue to impress, showcasing detailed character models, dynamic camera perspectives during replays, and fluid animations. The article also touches on a peculiar phenomenon in Virtua Fighter Remix, where players can interact with Pei's fallen hat. The page collectively reinforces the series' reputation for pushing graphical and technical boundaries in fighting games across different Sega platforms. This page focuses on the Sega Saturn's upcoming rail shooter, Virtua Cop. The article highlights its polygon-based graphics and realistic enemy reactions when shot. It discusses the core gameplay loop of aiming and shooting criminals, noting how the targeting reticle changes color when locked onto a target. A special justice shot bonus for precise hits is also mentioned, rewarding players with extra points. The page tracks the game's graphical evolution, showing how backgrounds, enemy models, and textures have improved significantly over different development builds, demonstrating the rapid progress made by AM2. It notes the use of a new operating system, contributing to the speed of development. The scoring system is detailed, explaining how a multiplier gauge builds up with consecutive hits, allowing players to achieve high scores, but decreases quickly with misses. Finally, the page previews the dedicated gun controller, confirming it's based on the arcade design and will feature a black finish for the final product. This page provides an in-depth report on Stage 1 of the Sega Saturn version of Virtua Cop. It confirms Stage 1 is nearing completion, with Stage 2 and 3 still under development, as shown on the select screen. The article walks through the stage, detailing the locations from the warehouse entrance through to the boss fight against Kong inside the facility. Screenshots showcase key moments, including enemies emerging, destructible environments like windows and crates, and the battle with Kong. A unique rank recognition mode, playable at a previous toy show, is highlighted, which judges player performance based on enemies defeated and accuracy, assigning a rank up to 8th Dan. The developer interview with AM2 chief Toshiaki Imai discusses the challenges faced, particularly optimizing the polygon processing speed for the Saturn to replicate the arcade's visual fidelity and enemy count. Despite these hurdles, the team expresses confidence in delivering a high-quality port that accurately reflects the arcade gameplay, including enemy patterns and reactions. The interview emphasizes their focus on reproducing the core arcade experience for Saturn owners. This page provides an exciting follow-up report on the Sega Saturn action RPG, Shining Wisdom. It reveals details about a new gameplay system and showcases the latest screenshots. The core highlight is the introduction of the semi-auto system, designed to make combat more accessible. Previously relying on the combo hit system, where rapid button presses determined action speed, the new system allows players to simply hold down the button to maintain their desired speed without continuous mashing. This feature, born from player feedback, aims to ease the strain of long play sessions while preserving the action feel, making it particularly welcoming for newcomers. The report also introduces Pazort's formidable 4 heavenly kings, Curry, Bombo, Gide, and Nug, each with a distinct personality and role. Fresh screenshots reveal intense battle scenes, including a confrontation with a massive giant hand boss, which hints at powerful attacks like light beams. Other images show battles against elemental spirits, such as the earth and wind spirits, expanding the revealed enemy roster. Sega president Hidekazu Takahashi weighs in, explaining that the semi-auto system was implemented based on suggestions that the original system was difficult. He notes it was developed quickly in about a week. He also confirms the game's development is progressing well, sitting at around 75% complete as of late June, and reiterates the planned August 11th release date. This page offers a detailed look at the action and early stages of Shining Wisdom. It highlights the diverse ways players utilize items and magic to interact with the game world and solve environmental puzzles. Gameplay mechanics covered include flying with the Pegasus helm, destroying ice blocks using fire magic, navigating hazards like spiked floors and conveyor belts, and manipulating the environment by breaking cracked floors or pushing blocks. The report also walks through the game's opening moments, showing the hero's departure from home and the very first battle. It previews some of the enemies encountered early on, including a challenging boss fight against twin creatures capable of powerful beam attacks. The page also touches upon exploring towns and interacting with non-player characters. The overall impression conveyed is that the game is packed with events, dungeons, and various monsters, requiring players to master movement and combat techniques, while item collection and secrets add replayability. The next page jumps right into the urgent release of the terrifying interactive movie, D. This Saturn version promises the ultimate visual experience, with intricate CG and realistic sound, boasting improvements over previous versions, including corrected audio and visual elements, and entirely new opening and ending CG sequences. The game is described as an interactive movie where you guide Laura Harris as she investigates a horrific incident involving her father, Richter Harris, at a Los Angeles hospital. The narrative is central, supported by simple controls that allow players to focus on the chilling story rather than complex mechanics. You move with the directional buttons and interact with the environment, or use items with the A button. The release date is highlighted as July 28, 1995, with a special first print bonus of a CG art book limited to 100,000 copies. This game aims to pull players in from the opening scene and deliver a shocking experience that will send chills down your spine. This page is split in two, continuing the coverage of D on the left and introducing a supplement feature on the right. The left side displays the full Japanese title, D's Table, along with more chilling screenshots and text, emphasizing the game's intricate CG visuals and interactive cinema experience on the Sega Saturn. It promises a journey into a dark and immersive world. The right side is dedicated to a supplement included with the August issue of Saturn Fan Magazine, prominently featuring Sega's AMR&D Department No. 2, better known as AM2. It showcases a striking render of Kagemaru, strongly suggesting a focus on the Virtua series, likely tied to Virtua Fighter on the Saturn. This section serves as a preview or special feature highlighting AM2's renowned work. This page is a two-page spread, prominently featuring Virtua Fighter 2 on the left and continuing the guide for D on the right. The left side displays a dynamic render of Akira Yuki from Virtua Fighter 2, set against a dark background with the game's stylized logo. This highlights Sega's graphical prowess with their AM2 division. The right side provides a detailed walkthrough for the game D, broken down by chapters and locations. It discusses the game's time limit and intense narrative, emphasizing that once you start, you can't save until the ending. The guide covers locations like the central hall of the hospital, the wine barrel room, where you can't drink the wine, and a room on the second floor. It also mentions navigating puzzles and the importance of items. Screenshots accompany the text, showing the hospital lobby, a strange dining table, a close-up of blood, a wine barrel with a wall of spikes, a room with a woman, and a floor plan layout. The guide focuses on helping players navigate the unsettling environments and solve the game's mysteries, particularly in the first chapter involving Laura. The next page continues the deep dive into the terrifying world of D on the Sega Saturn. Picking up where the last page left off, this section guides players through the intense later chapters, moving on to the second disc and accelerating towards the game's climax. Chapter 3 throws players into a maze of challenging puzzles across bizarre locations like a courtyard, a room lined with unsettling armor, a grotesque stained glass room, a mysterious room with a treasure chest, and even a place with a telescope. The screenshots showcase these strange environments, hinting at the trials ahead. Chapter 4 is revealed as the final act, where the truth behind the horrific events finally comes to light. The guide emphasizes the importance of reaching the elusive true ending. There's even a brief note from the game's director, Kenji Ino of Warp, discussing the multiple endings and the game's production, including the recording of the orchestral music. The page also includes a helpful floor plan overview for one of the earlier areas from Chapter 2. This section is essential for anyone trying to navigate the later, more complex parts of this unsettling classic. This page features a look at upcoming strategy games, highlighting follow-ups in established simulation series. On the left, we see World Advanced Daisen Ryaku, a new entry in the long-running Great Strategy series. This game is presented as a large-scale World War II simulation that surpasses the Mega Drive versions in detail and scope, promising to satisfy military enthusiasts with its extensive units and strategic depth. Screenshots show the classic hex-based map and detailed unit information displays, indicating a traditional yet expanded simulation experience. On the right, the focus shifts to Iron Storm, presented as the sequel to a masterpiece, likely referencing Project Minerva. This game utilizes real footage for its opening sequence, featuring scenes of the U.S. military, including aircraft and ships, and notably, a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The gameplay screenshots show a strategic simulation, potentially with a modern or alternate history military theme. A key feature highlighted is the branching scenario system, where the outcome of each battle influences the path of the campaign, offering replayability and dynamic progression. The page suggests graphical and system upgrades across both titles, promising a refined experience for simulation fans. This page continues the exploration of World Advanced Daisen Ryaku for the Sega Saturn, building on the previous discussion. It details how the basic system has been refined with slight changes to make it easier to use for newcomers while retaining depth. The page highlights improved usability and streamlined information display. Small visual touches like fire effects indicating damage and distinct unit sounds are also mentioned as adding immersion. A key feature introduced is the transform command, allowing infantry and engineer units to convert into transport vehicles temporarily to boost their movement range, adding a new tactical layer. The game also showcases impressive 3D polygon models for units, allowing players to view them in detail, rotating and scaling them freely. Furthermore, the variety in infantry units across different nations, each with unique appearances reflecting their country's equipment, is pointed out as a notable detail. Overall, the page emphasizes the game's blend of traditional series gameplay with graphical and system enhancements for a more user-friendly and visually appealing experience. The next page unveils a Sega Saturn adventure game based on the legendary Fist of the North Star. It highlights that top staff involved in the original manga and anime adaptations have gathered to create this new title. The game promises a completely original story that picks up after the third chapter of the manga, featuring iconic characters like Kenshiro, Lin, Bat, Ryuken, and Mamiya. Additionally, two game-exclusive characters, Zaki and Sophia, are introduced. The narrative begins dramatically with Lin and Bat's wedding, hinting at the dark events that unfold. The game incorporates a scenario mode for the main story and a battle mode, allowing players to experience the world of Fist of the North Star through animation and interactive elements. The developer mentions the impressive animation count, stating over 7,000 frames were checked, and praises the Saturn's ability to handle the visuals and voice acting well. This page presents a fascinating contrast between anime illustration and early 3D polygonal art. On the left, a dynamic anime-style image features several characters, including a large, powerful figure's fist dominating the foreground. Beneath it, other characters are depicted in various states of alarm or tension. A Banpresto logo is visible, suggesting this might be related to one of their many licensed game adaptations, though the specific title isn't clear from this artwork alone. The right side of the page is dedicated to the groundbreaking 3D CG art of Virtua Fighter 2. It showcases several panels featuring character models and scenes directly from the game's promotional materials or character renders. We see familiar faces like the powerful wrestler Wolf Hawkfield, the agile ninja Kagemaru, the deep-sea diver Jeffrey McWild riding a shark, and the skilled martial artist Sarah Bryant. Text accompanying the images confirms this is an exhibition of the CG created by Sega's legendary AM2 division for Virtua Fighter 2, highlighting their pioneering work in 3D graphics for fighting games. This page offers a diverse look into the world of Virtua Fighter, blending artistic interpretations with game-related content. The left side serves as a Virtua Fighter art gallery, showcasing stylized images of characters like the determined Akira Yuki, the contemplative Lao Chan, and a serene scene featuring Shundai. The central images feature stunning artwork, including Sarah Bryant relaxing by a pool, highlighting her character design outside of battle, and a dynamic piece of Lion Raphael on his skateboard. The right side is titled Virtua Fighter Coliseum, acting as a fan or community section. The title graphic features block letters with embedded character portraits from Virtua Fighter 2, including Akira, Sarah, Wolf, and Kagemaru. A detailed profile for Shun-Di is provided, listing his name, country of origin, China, birthday, January 2, 1912, sex, male, job, herbal doctor, blood type, O, and hobby, drinking. The page also lists upcoming articles and features related to Virtua Fighter 2, covering strategy guides, tips, and updates for both the arcade and Saturn versions, showing the depth of coverage dedicated to Sega's flagship fighting game. This page dives deep into mastering Kagemaru in Virtua Fighter 2 for the arcade, specifically focusing on achieving a high rank like 15th Dan. The guide breaks down advanced strategies for Kagemaru, covering techniques like effectively attacking opponents while they are down, precise countering, and utilizing throws. The core of the page details specific matchup strategies against nearly every fighter in the game's roster. It provides tailored tactics for facing opponents like Lao Chan, Pai Chan, Lion Rafale, Shun-Di, Sarah Bryant, Jackie Bryant, Wolf Hawkfield, Akira Yuki, Jeffrey McWild, and even the boss character Durl. The article suggests specific moves and patterns best suited to overcome each character, aiming to efficiently win rounds and progress towards higher ranks. Screenshots throughout illustrate Kagemaru executing key techniques in these matchup scenarios. The content emphasizes practicing these character-specific approaches to become a true master of Kagemaru's Yagyu style. This page serves as a comprehensive guide to mastering Durl in Virtua Fighter for the Sega Saturn. It kicks off by explaining how players can unlock and select the formidable android, whether facing the CPU or in versus mode. The article delves into Durl's unique characteristics, describing her as a potent character who borrows moves from various fighters, making her versatile but perhaps ultimately relying on a core set of effective techniques for competitive play. It then outlines effective strategies for using Durl, emphasizing the importance of her basic PK attacks and linking them together. Key powerful throws like Body Slam, Brainbuster, and Plane Buster are highlighted as essential tools when an opening presents itself. The guide also touches upon ground attack options, using the Crouching Phoenix stance, and tactics for safely recovering after being knocked down. Several screenshots throughout the page demonstrate Durl executing these techniques against characters like Jackie, Lao, Akira, Jeffrey, Wolf, and Pei. Finally, there's a brief note confirming Durl's presence in the STV arcade version of the game, suggesting she might be easier to access there. Overall, it's a solid rundown for players looking to take Durl into battle. This page features the Virtua Communications Monthly section, opening with news and illustrations. A major focus is the ongoing regional qualifiers for the Virtua Fighter 2 Maximum Battle Tournament, highlighting the exciting competitive scene. There's also a detailed comparison between the Japanese and overseas versions of the Sega Saturn Virtua Fighter, pointing out differences like the start screen message, missing character replays, and the free play activation method. Furthermore, the page showcases the artistic side of the series, with an article on the Virtua Fighter Graphics CG collection book, including images of the impressive polygonal models. The Illustration Communications Monthly section presents various character artworks. The Virtua Coliseum section appears to be a reader feedback or contribution area, with a related piece titled, "My Kung Fu is Still Insufficient," which includes corrections to previous reporting, potentially about specific character moves or game details, reflecting player engagement and struggles. Finally, there's an announcement for a new corner and a t-shirt giveaway. This page is an exciting announcement for Famimaga Earth World 95, a major event hosted by Family Computer Magazine and Nintendo, offering a chance for 6,000 people to attend for free through a large-scale drawing. The event is set to take place over 4 days in late August at the Idle Republic section of Seibu Amusement Park. Attendees can look forward to playing the very latest games, rumored to be unreleased titles, alongside enjoying the park's pools and attractions. It sounds like a fantastic mix of gaming and summer fun, making it tough to decide what to do first. There are a few ways to get in, primarily through a postcard lottery with a deadline in early July, or by getting participation tickets available via the magazine. The page also lists a vast array of game companies who will be exhibiting, promising a wide variety of titles to check out. It's clearly positioned as a must-attend event for Nintendo fans. This page is a key feature of the Kingdom of Saturn section, bringing us the Ranking Street sales charts for May 1995 across Sega's main platforms: Saturn, Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Super 32X. There's a combined top 10 list prominently displayed, showing Super Real Mahjong PV at number 1, followed by Kanzen Chukai Pro Yakyu Greatest 9, Daytona USA, and Virtua Fighter still holding strong. Below that, separate rankings give a clearer breakdown, with Virtua Racing and Sparkster featuring on the Mega Drive per Candela chart, while the Super 32X list is topped by Stellar Assault, Mortal Kombat 2, and Metalhead. The page includes a brief analysis of the sales performance, highlighting the success and momentum of certain Saturn titles. Additionally, a postcard section invites readers to submit their feedback, likely contributing to future rankings and content within the magazine's Sega coverage. This page features the ranking street for Sega Saturn games in May 1995. The list is topped by the compilation title, Extreme Parodius Deluxe Pack, followed by Super Real Mahjong PV at number 2. The third spot goes to Kanzen Chukai Pro Yakyu Greatest 9, with Grand Chasers rounding out the top 4. The majority of the page is dedicated to reader feedback on these games, under sections titled Sweet Whispers and Bitter Whispers, offering insights into what players liked and disliked about the leading Saturn titles of the month. This page continues the ranking street from the previous page, detailing the reader rankings for Sega Saturn games. While the compilation title Extreme Parodius Deluxe Pack held the top spot overall, this page dives into the next 3 entries. Coming in at number 2 is Super Real Mahjong PV, an arcade port that received mixed feedback from players. Comments in the Bitter Whispers section highlight synchronization issues and visual glitches from the port, while Sweet Whispers praise the overall experience as faithful to the arcade original, noting satisfaction despite the flaws. Number 3 is Kanzen Chukai Pro Yakyu Greatest 9, a baseball simulation game. Players commented on its realism, detailed player data, and graphical presentation, particularly the player animations. Feedback indicates it captured the feel of a real broadcast, although some found minor points to critique. Rounding out the top spots at number 4 is Grand Chaser, a polygon racing game featuring a story mode. Players discussed the game's visuals, sound effects, and the driving feel, noting both positive aspects like the polished presentation in the Sweet Whispers, and criticisms about level design and handling in the Bitter Whispers. Overall, the page showcases reader opinions on these key Saturn titles, offering a glimpse into what players enjoyed and what they felt could be improved in the early days of the console. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, presenting reader results for Super 32X and Mega Drive CD games. For the Super 32X, Stealth Assault is the top-ranked title, garnering praise for its feeling of free flight, though some found the graphics lacking and modes limited. Mortal Kombat 2 is the only other game listed. On the Mega Drive CD side, Light Crusaders, described as Treasure's final game for the system, is featured, with players enjoying the 3D action but finding the story short and graphics average. The page also includes a popularity ranking for upcoming titles, topped by Virtua Fighter 2, followed by Sega Rally Championship and Riglord Saga, reflecting strong anticipation for these games. Reader feedback in Voices of Expectation shows interest in Riglord Saga and Tokimeki Memorial, among other upcoming releases. A Saturn port request ranking reveals games like Tekken and Night Warriors. Darkstalkers Revenge are high on players' wish lists for the console. Interactive sections invite readers to submit game reviews and feature responses from developers to fan questions and requests. This page features a fan art corner titled Illustration Big Bang, showcasing reader-submitted artwork inspired by various games like Golden Axe, Vampire Hunter, and others. This section encourages reader engagement and creative expression. The main focus of the page is a large feature dedicated to Riglord Saga on the Sega Saturn. This section serves as a strategy guide for the game, detailing the journey to bring peace to the continent by defeating the invader Genusai. The guide covers the first half of the game, providing tactics, skill information, and item lists for this upcoming RPG title. It builds upon the high anticipation for Riglord Saga noted on the previous page, offering readers practical help for its release. This page continues the in-depth guide for Riglord Saga, focusing on fundamental combat strategies and early game progression. It starts by discussing basic tactics, emphasizing optimal character positioning based on skills and weapon types, noting the importance of terrain and action points. The guide also covers training methods, suggesting revisiting cleared maps and utilizing the arena to gain experience and money, highlighting that strategic retreats can still yield experience. The feature then moves into a specific early scenario in the Lost Kingdom of Queensland, introducing the character Musashi who joins your party. It details the challenges of this area, focusing on breaking through enemy lines in a forest setting and providing advice on early attack strategies against specific enemy types like ninjas and axe fighters, noting Musashi's effectiveness. Another section covers the escape mission from the Queen's Land Palace underground, offering a detailed map and tactical advice for navigating the area, handling enemy placements, and using specific character abilities to overcome obstacles. The page also includes a comprehensive world map of the Riglord continent, labeling key locations that players will visit throughout their journey. The overall tone is instructional, providing practical tips to help players succeed in the game's challenging tactical battles. This page continues the in-depth guide for Mysteria, the Realms of Lore, delving into specific early game scenarios. It provides tactical maps and strategies for several key areas. First, it details the search for Nightbird within the Queen's Land Palace B1, showing the map layout and advising on handling enemy types like charged soldiers, sorcerers, and ninjas. It also introduces Ash, highlighting their importance in this segment. Next, the guide tackles the challenging mountain where the sage lives, presenting a map and tactics for dealing with the enemies found there, such as Sorors, Erguys, and Ardorlas. The character Hector is featured here. The page then covers combat near Queen's Bone Town and the Queen's Lips River, offering strategies for managing groups of charged soldiers and archers in this bridge and town area. Finally, there's a section on an ambush encountered at the border of Dragoon Country, describing the enemy composition which includes ninjas, sorcerers, and Ardorlas, and suggesting approaches for overcoming this encounter. The focus remains on strategic positioning and exploiting enemy weaknesses, building on the foundational tactics discussed previously. This page continues the comprehensive guide for Mysteria, the Realms of Lore, focusing on key areas within Dragoon Country. It begins with tactical layouts and strategies for the first floor of Dragoon Castle, detailing enemy placements including ninjas and archers, and advising players on using Evan's abilities and NPC allies effectively to clear the area. Next, the guide prepares you for a major boss encounter against Ayahime, one of the 5 executives. It provides a map of the boss arena and outlines a strategy emphasizing concentrated attacks on Ayahime and her support troops like rush soldiers and archers, specifically highlighting the power of Evan's Dragon Press attack. The page then moves to the Dragoon Castle dungeon, presenting maps for the 2nd floor, 1st floor, and B1 floor. It gives tactical advice for navigating these levels and dealing with enemies, noting a specific limitation where some foes can only move 3 steps, and guides players toward rescuing Arthur. Finally, the guide briefly touches upon later stages, such as the mysterious War Spirit Forest, and encounters with bandits at the border. It mentions enemies like Guile and Ardorellas, and hints at important items hidden within these areas as players progress towards the Medic Kingdom. Screenshots illustrate the maps, combat encounters, and key characters like Evan and Ayahime. This page continues the extensive guide for Mysteria, the realms of lore, delving into the Medic Kingdom and its challenges. It begins in Port Altoma, detailing the initial pirate suppression quest given at the tavern, highlighting the importance of strategic party selection before heading out to sea. The guide then covers landing on Salmosa Island, providing a map and outlining the various enemies encountered there, including the notorious Guile and powerful Frugil. It mentions finding treasure and the dramatic encounter with Belzerion, Diana's brother, revealing his connection to Arthur and the captured Gerudo ship. Next, the page details tactical approaches for boarding the Gerudo ship and engaging in combat against the pirates on board, emphasizing unit placement and leveraging character strengths. This is followed by a strategy for a pivotal battle against Diana on a bridge, advising players on how to split their party and focus attacks to overcome her formidable abilities. The guide progresses to describe a subsequent fight against Evan himself, who transforms into a powerful dragon form on Salmosa Island. After these events, returning to Port Altoma yields a significant reward, and Salmosa Island becomes a useful location for training. Finally, the page touches upon the journey towards the Rossum country border, introducing the new types of mountain beast enemies found there, and suggesting group attack strategies. Key characters like Diana, Belzerion, and Evan are featured throughout the screenshots illustrating these encounters. This page continues the in-depth guide for Mysteria, the realms of lore, picking up as the party enters the mysterious Rossum country in search of the final two heroes. The guide highlights key locations like Corbe Village, a source of vital information, and the enigmatic Multip Tower, home to Shahal, a legendary mage whose magic is crucial given the party's needs. The guide also explores the suspicious Forest of Oblivion, known for strange occurrences, and the disappearance of Genusai and his family. Nearby, ancient ruins near Corbe Village are home to dangerous monsters and rumors of a protective giant named Daigen, whose allegiance remains a mystery. Finally, the page recaps the remaining enemy executives from the first half of the game: Juza, Largi, Ramiur, and Belzerion, emphasizing the goal to defeat them and save Queensland, Arthur's mother, whose safety is tied to Roxatirio and Genusai. It teases a flying vehicle for the latter half of the game. The page also includes a helpful section detailing items, weapons, armor, and shields available in the game's early stages, providing valuable data for players. The page is filled with game screenshots and character artwork illustrating the characters and battles ahead. This page dives into the history of Sega's AM3 Lab, focusing on their latest arcade thrill ride, Rail Chase 2. This motion simulation shooter straps you into a minecart for a wild ride, blasting enemies and obstacles. The article highlights the game's intense physical feedback, including screen vibration that simulates rough terrain, powered by the advanced Model 2 arcade board for enhanced graphics and speed. Gameplay involves shooting targets to clear paths and dynamically choosing your route through action-packed stages filled with challenging enemies and obstacles. The page is packed with screenshots showing the high-octane gameplay, various items, a formidable boss battle, and a detailed look at the unique Rail Chase 2 arcade cabinet. Separately, the page also features a lengthy table detailing skills and techniques for an RPG, covering various combat and magic abilities, along with their effects and requirements. This page continues the look at Sega's AM3 Lab, expanding on the arcade game Rail Chase 2. It highlights the diverse environments you'll race through, from mountains and forests to cityscapes, and even what looks like a computer core, all filled with unique enemies and obstacles, including animals and insects not typically seen. There are branching paths to discover, offering replayability, and screenshots show intense action, including a boss battle against a formidable train. Separately, the page introduces Sega Network, a pioneering virtual reality project by AM3. This VR setup involves a head-mounted display and motion platform, promising a deeply immersive experience. Different stages within Network are previewed, like a futuristic city, a vast desert, and a complex CPU environment. A humorous illustration depicts the research and development of Network as a wild, Frankenstein-like contraption. Developers share insights, emphasizing the thrill of Rail Chase 2's motion and branched routes, and the cutting-edge sensory experience offered by Network's VR technology. The page concludes by teasing the next issue, which will cover the STV arcade board and the outlook for the Sega Saturn. The next page features a split focus. On the left, the PC Engine fan delves into Tokimeki Memorial, highlighting a limited mail-order premiere pack for the PC Engine Crindrom Squared version. This special edition includes exclusive bonuses like a scented postcard and a complete strategy guide, available via a mail-in form with a deadline of July 31, 1995. The right side of the page shifts gears with News Dynamite. It features an interview with Sega's legendary AM2 manager, Yu Suzuki, discussing his venture into music production. Suzuki talks about producing a pop album based on characters from Virtua Fighter 2, aiming to appeal to a wider audience beyond just gamers. The page also announces the release of the album itself, titled Virtua Fighter 2 Dancing Shadows, featuring image songs for the cast. It's clear Suzuki is pushing the boundaries of game-related content, exploring music as another avenue for creative expression. This page dives into a variety of happenings for gamers. Kicking off with event news, we get details on the Capcom Summer Festival 95, promising hands-on demos of upcoming titles like Vampire, Real Battle on Film, Street Fighter Alpha, and X-Men. There's also info on the Tokimeki Memorial Summer Character Caravan, a tour featuring voice actors from the game visiting various locations. In the News Dynamite section, you'll find coverage on the movie Highlander 2-1, The Sorcerer, and a special Studio Ghibli event showcasing Whisper of the Heart alongside the short On Your Mark. The page also lists the broadcast schedule and content for the Street Fighter 2V anime series. There's also a quick look at some baseball analysis software for data enthusiasts. Finally, the page highlights several new media releases. Featured satids include the soundtrack for Castlevania, Dracula Battle 2, music from Sega Rally Championship, and drama creds related to Emerald Dragon and Tokimeki Memorial. For those who can't get enough of Sega's fighting classic, there's a new book dedicated to Virtua Fighter 2 replays and strategies. The content offers a good mix of event coverage, news, and media related to popular games of the era. This page is all about the voice of the players, primarily focusing on feedback from Sega Saturn owners. The main feature, Listen to the Opinions of Saturn Fans, compiles letters from readers sharing their thoughts on the console and its games. Fans discuss everything, from hoping for ports of games like Madou Monogatari and Guardian Heroes, to their opinions on graphics, system features, and the overall gaming experience compared to other platforms like the PlayStation. There are sections dedicated to users who switched from other consoles, transplanted fan, those who are new to Saturn, and longtime gamers from previous generations. Listen to the voices of old generation users. They talk about discovering Saturn, what they like, and what they hope to see, mentioning games like Shining Force, Virtua Fighter, and upcoming titles. Smaller sections feature reader questions, requests for specific game sequels like a new Vampire, likely Darkstalkers, and even a humorous cartoon. It's clear fans are passionate and vocal about their wants and experiences with the Sega Saturn. The page concludes with a call for more reader submissions. This page presents a reader survey offering a chance to win 50 game titles. It gathers feedback from readers on various aspects of their gaming life and opinions on the magazine itself. The survey covers basics like age and occupation, delves into console ownership across platforms like Sega Saturn, PlayStation, Mega Drive, and even PC, and asks about their magazine reading habits. Readers are prompted to rate articles from the current issue and suggest topics they'd like to see covered in the future. A significant part of the survey involves rating games they've played on a 5-point scale, referencing a large list provided on the page. This extensive list, categorized by console, includes titles for Sega Saturn, Super 32X, Mega Drive, and Mega CD, featuring classics like Virtua Fighter, Shining Wisdom, Daytona USA, and Mortal Kombat 2. The page also provides clear instructions on how to correctly fill out the survey postcard to ensure entries are valid. As a bonus for participating, readers have the chance to win one of several games, with prizes including titles such as Darkseid, and Chokukai Miracle 9. It's a direct way for the magazine to engage with its audience and understand their preferences. This page announces SoftBank's entry into the Sega Saturn market as a third-party developer. Known for their extensive computer-related business, including publishing and software distribution, SoftBank is expanding into game development and release. The page features an interview with a SoftBank representative discussing their plans. They are planning 2 titles for the Saturn: iShogi, a port of their PC Shogi game, and Arena, a 3D RPG, also ported from IBM PC. SoftBank is also involved in producing/distributing games like Myst, shown with a PlayStation screenshot. The page also includes a form for readers to enter a prize survey for this issue. This page presents a major feature highlighting the development status of 7 significant, upcoming Sega Saturn titles, dubbed the Saturn Big Sevens. The article promises direct interviews with the developers to address player anticipation. We see exciting previews of games set to shape the console's future. Treasure is featured with their action-packed fighter, Guardian Heroes, shown with a dynamic screenshot. Ancient presents Legend of Oasis, tentative title. Hudson Soft is working on a new entry in the popular Far East of Eden series, titled Far East of Eden, The Apocalypse IV, tentative. Game Arts is teasing 2 titles. A Sega adventure, likely their RPG masterpiece Lunar, Silver Star Story, depicted with character art, and a 3D robot shooting game, which could be Gun Griffon, illustrated by a detailed mecha screenshot. Climax Entertainment is developing the intriguing RPG, Dark Savior, and Atlas is bringing the dark fantasy world of Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, with a screenshot of a key character. The left side of the page serves as a reader entry form for a prize campaign, including a chart for players to report achievements in various Saturn games like Battle Monsters, Darkseid, and others. This page continues the Saturn Big 7 feature, focusing on Atlas's highly anticipated RPG, Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner. The game is listed as 40% complete as of June 23, targeting a late '95 release. The article highlights the game's dark image and modern Tokyo setting, which contrasts with the protagonist living a normal life before being drawn into the supernatural. Key characters are introduced: the protagonist, his partner, a powerful summoner, a doctor who is also a supernatural healer, and a fortune teller who acts as a fixer. Gameplay discussions mention the return of the core Shin Megami Tensei elements, such as 2D dungeons, conversation systems, demon negotiation, and the signature demon combination system. While the previous Super Famicom games had 3D dungeons, this Saturn entry opts for 2D dungeons but aims for high-quality 3D visuals and textures elsewhere to enhance the sense of presence. The development status indicates that the main framework is complete, with focus shifting to detailed aspects like scenarios and events, and the new concepts for the demon combination system are being finalized. The iconic handheld computer used by summoners is also featured. The developers aim to capture the atmosphere of daily life intertwined with the occult, reflecting the series' roots. This page continues the Saturn Big 7 feature, highlighting Treasure's highly anticipated title, Guardian Heroes. The game is presented as a unique blend of side-scrolling action, fighting game mechanics, and RPG elements, running on a multi-line battlefield. The striking artwork features the main cast of characters, including the protagonist, the female mage, the large warrior, the skeletal undead hero, and others who join the fight. The article delves into what makes it both a fighting game and an RPG. The fighting aspect comes from the diverse techniques and special moves executed via directional inputs and button combinations, typical of the genre. The RPG side incorporates experience points, leveling up, and a branching scenario influenced by the player's actions. The developers note that this creates a deep and replayable experience. Screenshots showcase the frantic action across the different stage lines, powerful magic spells like the Magic Rampage attack, and special moves. The game is highlighted for its multiplayer capabilities, supporting up to 6 simultaneous players in battle mode and 2-player co-op in the main story mode. Despite being only 10% complete at the time, June 23rd, the visuals and concept appear impressive, promising intense action and strategic depth. This page continues the Saturn Big 7 feature, diving into a new 3D robot shooting game from Game Arts, currently under a tentative title. The game's main appeal is its intense focus on realism, evident in the visuals and gameplay mechanics. Set in the near future of 2015, it incorporates detailed, realistic weaponry and military hardware, including specific models like the Russian Hokum helicopter. The developers are aiming for a high level of fidelity, with detailed physics like weapon recoil and armor checks, and dynamic elements such as lighting effects. The gameplay isn't just pure action. It includes simulation elements, allowing players to use terrain strategically. Screenshots show impressive explosions, detailed robot designs in different camouflage patterns, and sequences of a tank being destroyed and a helicopter descending. Despite the overall project being only 30% complete as of June 23rd, the graphical development is remarkably advanced at 50%, while the core game mechanics are still early at 10%. The developers note their surprise at the progress of the visuals. The game will support 2 players, and they are considering support for analog sticks and specialized mission controllers. This page continues the Saturn Big 7 feature, showcasing more upcoming RPGs for the console. First up is Game Studio's tentative Sega Adventure, described as a romantic fantasy RPG set in near-future Europe. Development is early at just 10%, but it already features striking character designs and a glimpse of a 3D environment with a large creature in the development status section. They are aiming for an orthodox RPG experience. Next is Ancient's Legend of Thor, likely the sequel known internationally as Legend of Oasis. This is an action RPG from the creators of the classic Beyond Oasis. Despite being only 10% complete, the developers discussed their design philosophy, balancing visual realism with a focus on creating an atmospheric and emotionally resonant world. Hudson Soft presents Far East of Eden, the Apocalypse IV, the latest entry in the popular RPG series. This installment involves collaborations between Hudson, Red, and the Summer Project team. Currently at 20% development, it promises a rich story continuing the series' legacy. Finally, Climax Entertainment, known for hits like Landstalker and Shining Force, unveils Dark Savior. This action RPG boasts an impressive 200 potential endings, following the story of a bounty hunter in a fantasy world. It's also early in development at 10%. The page hints at a complex narrative, driven by player choice. This page continues the ongoing discussion series, focusing this time on the Sega Saturn, 3D graphics, and the role of RPGs, featuring Hiroshi Uchidara from Climax Entertainment and Yasuhiko Nakatsu from Microcabin. These Iron Men of development discuss their work and the challenges of creating impactful RPGs on the platform. They specifically highlight their upcoming titles: Climax's action RPG Dark Savior and Microcabin's tactical RPG Riglord Saga, along with a port of Princess Maker 2. The developers share their thoughts on leveraging the Saturn's capabilities, particularly for 3D expression, and their design philosophies, emphasizing unique scenarios and branching paths for Dark Savior, which boasts many potential endings, and tactical depth for Riglord Saga, shown in an isometric view reminiscent of Landstalker and Ladystalker. Screenshots showcase Dark Savior's 3D battles, Riglord Saga's grid-based combat, and Princess Maker 2's schedule screen. The profiles reveal their extensive backgrounds, including work on major titles like Dragon Quest and Climax's own hits. This page continues the conversation with Microcabin's Yasuhiko Nakatsu and Climax's Hiroshi Uchidara, delving into the world of 3D polygon game development on the Sega Saturn. The discussion centers on the technical challenges and requirements for creating immersive 3D experiences on the platform. Screenshots showcase iconic Saturn 3D titles such as Virtua Fighter 2, Panzer Dragoon, and Daytona USA, illustrating the state of 3D graphics at the time. They also include images of the 3D RPG Power Kingdom and the tactical RPG Riglord Saga. The developers stress the fundamental importance of strong mathematical skills, particularly in trigonometry and vector calculations, for anyone aspiring to program in 3D. They share insights into optimizing performance and pushing the capabilities of the Saturn hardware, reflecting on the demanding nature of game development. The discussion concludes with their ambitions for future titles and the ongoing evolution of game technology. The page also includes brief profiles of both developers and invites readers to contribute topics for future discussions. This page features Magic Knight Ray-Earth for the Sega Saturn, highlighting its transition from popular manga and anime to an action RPG. The page showcases vibrant character artwork and the game's distinctive logo. It emphasizes that the game is designed with an accessible system, making it easy for beginners to pick up and play. A key feature mentioned is the extensive use of animation directly from the original anime series, enhancing the presentation. The gameplay is described as an action RPG, where players control one of the three main characters, Hikaru, Umi, or Fu, in a party formation. The triangle formation system allows players to switch between the characters strategically, each having unique abilities suited for different combat situations. Screenshots illustrate both exploration and combat from an overhead perspective, as well as dialogue scenes featuring character portraits. The article conveys the game's focus on bringing the beloved world and characters of Magic Knight Ray-Earth to life on the Saturn console, with engaging action and faithful visuals. This page explores the Sega Saturn game Magic Knight Ray-Earth, highlighting the heroines, Hikaru, Umi, and Fu. The game follows the girls, summoned from Tokyo to Sephiroth, to become Magic Knights and rescue the Emerald Princess from Lord Zagato. While drawing from the manga, The game features original story elements. The gameplay features an unconventional leveling system, where characters gain power by completing story events, not combat. This boosts physical and magical abilities and evolves their unique weapons. Hikaru, with fire magic and ray earth. Umi, with water magic and Ceres. And Fu, with wind magic and Windom, are introduced. The page also covers the game's opening, including their arrival in Saphiro, their first battle, and their quest to find Master Smith Pressiri, hinting at the involvement of game-exclusive characters. The game promises an engaging action RPG experience. This page presents Graduation 2, Neo Generation for the Sega Saturn, a simulation game where you take on the role of a new teacher responsible for guiding 5 distinct high school girls towards graduation. The large illustrations on the page showcase the main group of students in various outfits, including their school uniforms and casual wear. The core objective is to ensure all 5 students successfully complete their final year of high school within 1 year. The gameplay involves managing their academic and personal development. You'll teach them subjects, monitor their stats like HP, academics, charm, and ethics, and handle various school events and personal situations. The article highlights that each student has a unique personality and set of challenges, making the task of graduating them a difficult but rewarding experience. Screenshots display the classroom environment, menus for checking student stats, and scenes like a midterm exam. It notes that this Saturn version is an upgraded port from PC and PCFX, featuring enhanced graphics and animations to bring the characters to life. Ultimately, guiding the students to find their best paths after graduation is the player's goal. This page introduces the 5 main student characters you are tasked with guiding through graduation in Graduation 2, Neo Generation. First up is Misako Ishibashi, presented as a top student academically, but described as socially awkward and lacking flexibility. She's diligent, but can become neurotic under pressure. Next we have Cindy Sakurai, a lively Brazilian-Japanese student who is great at English but struggles with Japanese communication. She's a mood maker, but requires careful handling due to her sometimes erratic behavior. Eureka Tani follows, appearing the most childlike. She's energetic and easily influenced, often jumping to conclusions. Her naivety means she needs strong guidance, but is also prone to taking things too literally. Then there's Sayori Inutsuka, outwardly tough and stubborn, but inwardly kind. Her main challenges are her low academic performance and lack of motivation. Finally, Meina Yasuda is portrayed as an elegant and proper lady. While academically capable, she is physically weak and easily fatigued, which is a significant obstacle to her progress. Each character section includes personal data like their birthday, measurements, and hobbies, alongside illustrations showing their personality and some gameplay moments related to them, such as school life or specific scenes. The page emphasizes their distinct personalities and the unique challenges each presents to the player aiming for their successful graduation. This page introduces the Sega Saturn game, Steam Gear MASH, focusing on its unique protagonist and genre-blending gameplay. The main character is MASH, a high-performance steam-powered lifeform created by Dr. Sengoku. MASH is described as generally laid back, but determined to stop the evil Emperor Gash. The page breaks down MASH's abilities, detailing his steam gun arm, durable body housing, multiple weapons, powerful legs for jumping, and the complex MASH engine powering him. It highlights his versatile movement in a quarter-view perspective, showing how he can lock direction, stop to aim, roll, and even move backward. A key aspect is powering up with various subweapons like bombs, ice attacks, and homing missiles. Furthermore, MASH can equip attachments to transform into land, sea, or air types, adapting to different environments. The game is billed as a multi-genre game, mixing shooting action with puzzle and mystery elements, drawing from genres like RPGs, treasure hunting, and racing. The objective is to defeat the Gash Corps and save Drive Gash and his granddaughter Mina. The article conveys the game's charming, action-packed, and varied nature. This page announces the release date for Layer section on the Sega Saturn, which is known internationally as Rayforce or Gunlock. It highlights that this is the home port of the acclaimed arcade shooter Rayforce. A major point of discussion is the game's support for horizontal screen display, catering to standard home televisions, alongside the original vertical arcade mode. This allows players to enjoy the game without needing a special monitor setup for vertical orientation. The page showcases several areas from the game, referred to here as Area 1 through Area 6, giving a glimpse of the diverse environments and challenging boss encounters awaiting players. Screenshots illustrate the intense shooting action, featuring various enemy types, complex boss designs, and the game's signature lock-on laser attacks. The article emphasizes the game's faithfulness to the arcade original, while adding features like the horizontal display mode. It gives players a look at some of the formidable bosses they will face in later stages. This page previews the action-adventure sequel, Clockwork Knight 2. Picking up right after the first game's ending with Pepperuchow needing to rescue Chelsea again. The game maintains the side-scrolling action style, focusing on Pepperuchow's sword combat, dashing, and jumping abilities, with the sword also being crucial for interacting with the environment and solving puzzles. The page details several distinct areas players will explore, similar to the structure of the first game. Area 1 is the kids' room, filled with toys and items to collect. Area 2, the study room, features unique enemies based on different ink colors. Area 3 takes players to the bathroom, introducing water mechanics where falling in is dangerous, and showcases a boss encounter against a large toy dinosaur. Finally, Area 4 is the clock tower, the final area where Pepperuchow confronts the main boss before rescuing Chelsea. The game also includes bonus stages and minigames scattered throughout the levels, offering variety beyond the main quest. The visuals continue the charming toy-like aesthetic established in the first game. This page previews Yumi Mix Remix, an adventure game for the Sega Saturn based on the manga and character designs by Izumi Takemoto. It's presented as a complete version ported from the Mega CD, featuring anime cutscenes and a multi-ending story driven by player choices. The game follows the protagonist, Yumimi Hozumi, a normal middle school girl caught up in mysterious events. Key characters and their voice actors are introduced, including Yumimi, Rie Morishita, Raiko Sakurazaki, and Shinhichi Matsuzaki. The article highlights the attention paid to the opening animation and theme song. Beyond the main adventure, the remix version includes significant bonus content. There's a physical 32-page book of setting materials bundled with the game. Additionally, the game itself features a bonus card puzzle minigame called Yumi Banzai. Let's try. This puzzle game involves matching pairs of cards to clear the board, unlocking exclusive illustrations as you progress. The difficulty increases with levels, and the unlocked art includes previously unreleased cuts. The page includes screenshots of the adventure game interface, anime scenes, and the bonus card game, along with examples of the unlockable illustrations. This page previews GQ Powerful Pro Baseball 95 Opening Edition for the Sega Saturn. Despite its cute, deformed characters, the game aims for a realistic and detailed simulation of professional baseball, enhanced by live commentary and atmospheric sound. The game offers a wealth of content through its varied modes, including standard open matches for 1 or 2 players, a spectator mode to watch CPU versus CPU games, a training camp to hone skills, a full pennant race season mode, and a scenario mode featuring recreations of famous games from the year. Player performance is driven by detailed parameters for both pitchers and fielders, covering aspects like pitch types, velocity, control, stamina, batting ability, running, power, defense, and the batting cursor size. Player condition for the day also plays a significant role, adding unpredictability. The article explains the core gameplay loop, detailing the pitching process from selecting the pitch type and location to executing the throw, and the batting process involving the movable cursor, strategic hitting options like bunts, and base running. The game simulates the battery interaction realistically. A section called Opening Power Pro Theater 95 highlights the charming expressions the characters show during key moments like striking out or hitting a home run. This game blends an approachable visual style with deep simulation mechanics, offering extensive gameplay options. This page features previews of 2 distinct Sega Saturn titles. On the left is Dark Seed, a dark adventure game heavily influenced by the art of H.R. Giger, known for his work on the Alien films. Players navigate between a seemingly normal world and a disturbing, dark world, solving puzzles and interacting with bizarre creatures. The game uses 3 types of icons for actions like examining, taking items, and moving, progressing the story over 3 days. Screenshots show eerie locations like a decaying mansion, a creepy graveyard, and unsettling nightmare sequences featuring Giger's signature biomechanical horrors. On the right, the page covers Virtual Volleyball, a sports simulation featuring polygon characters. The game offers various camera angles, including a realistic VR view and standard top-down and TV perspectives, aiming for a realistic representation of the sport. Gameplay involves executing attacks and combinations, using directional inputs and buttons, similar to fighting games. There are 3 main modes: World League, Free Play, and an Information mode. The World League features competition against 8 powerful nations,
each with unique strengths, like Japan with surprising skill despite lower physical stats, or Italy highlighted as a strong, balanced team. The page shows screenshots of gameplay action and player stats.
2 upcoming Sega platform games are highlighted: Tensai Bakabon Susume. Bakabons for the Sega Saturn is a falling block puzzle game based on the popular Japanese anime. It features characters with unique abilities, adding a chaotic twist to the classic gameplay, with a story mode and versus mode. The review praises its faithfulness to the source material and engaging mechanics centered around chain reactions and special moves. On the Mega CD, Shadowrun is a cyberpunk RPG set in futuristic Tokyo.
Players navigate a non-linear structure with adventure, mission, combat, and matrix modes.
Combat uses a dice-based system influenced by character stats. The game is praised for its deep world, diverse characters, and Satoshi Urushihara's distinctive art style, capturing the essence of the Shadowrun universe. This page previews 2 distinct Sega Mega Drive titles. First up is Super League, a baseball game featuring adorable chibi-style players, highlighting unique camera perspectives like the batter's view and a stereoscopic strike zone display. It offers various modes including season play and tournaments, and even tracks individual player conditions, adding strategic depth. Also featured is the Ooze, a peculiar action game from Sega of America, where you control a green, amorphous slime creature. This bizarre protagonist can stretch, shrink, and reshape itself to navigate environments and attack enemies. The game features unique combat based on the slime's properties, and includes items that grant temporary boosts, spanning across 6 stages of strange battles. This page dives into several exciting titles, starting with the Sega Genesis game, Comic Zone. This unique action game from America thrusts the player character, Sketch-Turner, directly into the pages of a comic book. Enemies literally tear out of the panels, and Sketch must navigate the comic book world, moving between panels like scenes. The gameplay focuses on combat, utilizing items found within the panels, and features dynamic actions like breaking through panel borders and interacting with the environment. Below, the page shifts focus to the Game Gear, highlighting 2 upcoming titles. First is Magic Knight Ray-Earth 2, a game based on the popular manga and anime. This sequel appears to be a simulation/RPG hybrid, where the player trains the 3 main heroines over a period, managing their schedules and developing their abilities to become Magic Knights. The preview shows scenes of training, events, and exploration on a map.
Next up is Ninku, another Game Gear game based on a manga from Weekly Shonen Jump. This is presented as an action game where players control the protagonist, unleashing various special moves and progressing through a story that unfolds across a map screen, similar to an RPG. Finally, a small section provides quick hits on 2 more Gear games, Jagged Edge, an action game based on the Sylvester Stallone movie, and FIFA International Soccer, offering a top-down view of the popular sport. This page kicks off with an update on the Daytona USA official time attack contest. It presents the interim results as of June 20th, showcasing the intense competition with racers shaving off hundredths of a second. The rankings are broken down by skill levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced, each with target times. The contest rules involve racing on specific courses and submitting the best laps via VHS tape. The accompanying screenshot captures the thrilling speed and iconic visuals of the arcade classic. Below, the page shifts gears to preview a new Sega Saturn simulation game, tentatively titled, Create a Pro Soccer Club. This deep management sim puts you in charge of building and running a professional soccer team, aiming for J.League glory. Gameplay revolves around strategic decisions, like training players, developing formations, building your home stadium, attracting sponsors, and managing club finances. While you don't control the players directly during matches, you watch your team's performance based on your tactical choices and player development. The screenshots provide a glimpse into the various management screens, including stadium customization, sponsor deals, and viewing match highlights. It looks like a comprehensive simulation for soccer fans. This page dives into the world of hidden tricks and secrets under the Hyper Ultech banner,
showcasing valuable tips for several Sega Saturn titles. For Panzer Dragoon, players can learn button codes to gain immediate access to weapon selection at the game start, or even jump straight to viewing the normal and hard game endings. Screenshots illustrate the title screen and an ending sequence. Daytona USA fans aren't left out, with a revealed method using a title screen code to unlock and race with the famous horse car from the beginning, shown in a screenshot of the unique vehicle. Other games featured include Grand Chasers, detailing how to unlock a difficult extra course after completing the story mode. The Legend of Crystal Valley. Astar offers a convenient command collection via a secret mode accessed from the options screen, granting helpful cheats like invincibility and health restoration. Finally, for the Mahjong game Shanghai, The Great Wall, there's a simple trick involving game over in arcade mode to bypass the need for a password. This section is a great resource for players seeking to explore these games further or find shortcuts. This page offers a glimpse into the future of Sega gaming, presenting new information on titles coming soon across the Sega Saturn, Super 32X, Mega Drive, and Mega CD platforms. Headlining the previews is Golden Axe: The Duel, a fighting game spin-off from the classic fantasy beat-em-up series, showcasing one-on-one combat. Suko Enbu is another fighting game, this one based on the Chinese novel Water Margin, featuring martial artists duking it out. For fans of unique experiences, Gaku no Kawaii Uwasa Hanakosan ga Kita is an interactive movie based on a popular horror anime about school ghost stories. Also featured is Street Fighter, the movie, a fighting game that uses digitized actors and stages directly from the live-action film, offering a different take on the iconic franchise. Shifting gears, Wing Arms delivers 3D aerial combat simulation, letting players pilot aircraft in intense dogfights. Finally, the legendary shooting series arrives with Darius Gaiden, bringing its signature aquatic-themed enemy designs and multi-screen battles to the Saturn. This page provides a solid overview of the diverse lineup Sega had planned, touching upon fighting games, interactive horror, flight simulation, and classic shooters. Brief summary. This page previews upcoming Sega games including Golden Axe, The Duel, Street Fighter, the movie, Wing Arms, and Darius Gaiden. This page continues the preview of upcoming Sega Saturn titles, showcasing a diverse lineup ranging from role-playing and action to mahjong and adventure games. Featured prominently is Fedha, Emblem of Justice, a remake of a popular Super Famicom RPG, promising enhanced animated battle sequences and cinematic events. Mahjong enthusiasts have options like Tokimeki Mahjong Paradise and Maju no Okite, both focusing heavily on attractive anime-style characters and visuals alongside the tile-matching gameplay, with character reactions highlighted. Jisen Mahjong offers a more traditional take on the game, with various gameplay modes. For action fans, Neketsu Oyako presents a side-scrolling beat-em-up where players control a family team. Racing aficionados can look forward to Race Drive-In, a port of the classic Atari arcade simulator, known for its challenging courses and 3D visuals. Unique titles like the Yakuken Special bring a different flavor, based on the Japanese rock-paper-scissors game often involving stripping, featuring a large roster of female characters. Finally, Hama Hunter Lime Perfect Collection is an adventure game adapting an anime style, structured into episodes that are presented like video content with player interaction. The page emphasizes the visual appeal and character focus in many of these upcoming releases. Brief summary. This page previews Saturn games including Fedha, RPG, Mahjong titles, Tokimeki, Jisen, Maju, Neketsu Oyako, Action, Race Drive-In, Racing, Yakuken Special, Strip Game, and Hama Hunter Lime, Adventure. The next page presents a diverse slate of upcoming titles for the Sega Saturn and Mega Drive, touching on multiple genres. For Mahjong fans, Mahjong Kaigan Monogatari. Mahjong Jidai Sexy Idol Hen features the idol group Endolores with live-action footage and 3D polygon opponents. Sports enthusiasts can look forward to King of Boxing, an updated boxing title from Taito highlighting varied camera angles, and Fire Pro Gaiden, Blazing Tornado, bringing the popular wrestling series to the Saturn with a large roster and voice acting. Soccer gets a look with Hat-Trick Hero S, combining elements from previous versions with Saturn-exclusive features. Puzzle action comes from Breakthrough, a PC port by the creator of Tetris. The Mega Drive sees Madu Monogatari E, an RPG based on the Puyo Puyo universe, featuring 3D movement and side-view combat. Additionally, a large information section details a host of new announcements across Saturn, Super 32X, and Mega Drive from various publishers like Electronic Arts, Acclaim, Konami, and Taito. This covers everything from simulations and shooters to other sports titles and RPGs, showcasing a mix of arcade and PC ports alongside new entries. Titles mentioned include Wing Commander 2i, Magic Carpet, FIFA Soccer 96, Batman Forever, and SimCity 2000. The page reflects the upcoming wave of games, aiming to utilize the capabilities of these platforms, emphasizing diverse gameplay and graphical presentations. The next page features a comprehensive release calendar showcasing upcoming titles for the Sega Saturn, Super 32X, Mega Drive, and Game Gear. It details a packed schedule across multiple platforms, highlighting the sheer volume of games hitting the market from July through November, with many more titles listed as release date undecided. The Sega Saturn section dominates, listing numerous games across diverse genres, from fighting games and sports simulations to RPGs and puzzles, including many titles mentioned on the previous page. The Super 32X, Mega Drive, and Game Gear also show upcoming releases, albeit fewer than the Saturn. There's even a small section for Mega CD re-releases. A brief editorial note reflects on the accelerating pace of Saturn releases, noting that over 250 titles are expected, offering players a vast choice of genres and new experiences. The next issue preview promises a deep dive into Saturn software, potentially including coverage related to Virtua Fighter and strategy for Shining Wisdom. The page clearly illustrates the busy release schedule across Sega's platforms during this period. This page showcases a Sega Saturn game based on the highly popular TV animation, Slam Dunk, titled Real Action Sports and priced at 6,800 yen. The game promises intense basketball action, capturing the speed and power of the anime. It features cel-drawn characters from the show, including protagonists like Hanamichi Sakuragi and Kaede Rukawa, rendered with polygon modeling for detailed visuals and dynamic movement on the court. The gameplay includes powerful dunks, double clutches, and intense man-to-man defense in a heated versus mode. The game is scheduled for release in early August, allowing fans to experience the excitement of Slam Dunk's basketball rivalries firsthand.